Wrap up of SEC Media Days, day 2 here in Atlanta. That is Eric Kane. I am Vince Ferrara. So 4 teams went today. Obviously the star of the show, the Alabama Crimson Tide with Nick Saban and Will Anderson Jr., Bryce Young. It's amazing the talent, Jordan Battle. It's amazing the talent that Alabama brought today. What jumped out to you?
Yeah, just some really, really good players. I mean, you talk about 2 guys who obviously one's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Right. The other one, in my opinion, should have not only been in New York, but should have probably won the Heisman last year. I think that much of Will Anderson Jr. So for Alabama, it's a lot of rocking and reloading, right? I mean, they said all the right things. Will Anderson Jr. is a very humble guy. I was over there whenever his breakout session. So they've been taught the right way. They've been coached the right way. They've been in the spotlight. And so I expect Alabama to be the majority favorite in winning the SEC come the end of the week when the media votes.
Could argue the 2 best players in college football were representing one team.
Yep, absolutely.
It's crazy, and those guys, like you said, humble and hardworking, really set the tone. So Alabama was really the star of the show, no surprise. And we didn't even mention Nick Saban, who of course was asked about Lane Kiffin and wanting a salary cap for name, image, and likeness, and he started giggling in there. And of course, he's the voice of college football, so everyone went to him about a lot of those issues. But no surprise, he's got another great team. So that was Alabama. Also this morning, we had Vanderbilt paired up with Alabama. Clark Lee, obviously not the star power at Vanderbilt. Anything stood out about anything anybody said?
Yeah, not necessarily anything from Clark Lee. I mean, the point of the matter is a bad football team last year. And you're starting from scratch, I understand that. But I was really impressed with the quarterback, Mike White. Very impressed with him. I thought he said a whole lot of great things. He's an Atlanta kid. He said he went to the Manning Passing Academy, and he said, Mr. Manning, put me and Hendon Hooker in the same room. We're roommates, so now we're really good boys. He said that he and all the other quarterbacks around the SEC, Will Levis, Spencer Rattler, all those guys, are in a group chat. Because they know each other from camps and all this type of stuff. He even said, you play football at this level nowadays, you know who you're competing against every single week. So really impressed with Vanderbilt's quarterback, smart kid. Very, very inclusive with his name, image, and likeness as well. But Mike White was kind of the show for me with Vanderbilt, and I think he's probably their best player.
And Ken Seals didn't transfer, so he is still there. So we'll see how that shapes up without Seals taking off. In the afternoon session, Mississippi State and South Carolina will start with the Bulldogs. Mike Leach talked as little about football as anybody you're going to see here at Media Days. At one point, he was talking about somebody in Wyoming that, ran into a grizzly bear and some other wild animal. And somebody asked him about Georgia. Hey, can you say anything about your game with Georgia this year? It's like, no. What'd you think about Mississippi State?
I mean, to be completely honest, a whole lot of nothing. I mean, nothing that really anybody, any of the 3 players, anything that Mike Leach, said stood out to me, to be completely honest. He didn't really give much of opening remarks, and then he explained why he didn't want to give the opening remarks, because he said, hey, I'll say a bunch of things, and then you'll ask me about things that I already said, so let's just skip the middleman here, right, and let's just go in and take your questions, which I thought was kind of funny. But, Mike Leach, it's such an uphill battle in that SEC West. You've got talent. You've got a great quarterback.
Who should have been here.
Should have been here. Keyshawn Boutte should have been here for LSU yesterday. But it's just you're playing with the likes of LSU that's always got talent, Texas A&M, and of course Alabama. So it's tough sledding from Mississippi State, but they're going to be exciting with that offense as always.
All right, in South Carolina, the 4 team, a little different story with them. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, I did too. I was really impressed with Carl Pickens, defensive lineman, standout defensive lineman, had a lot of Zach Pickens, had a lot of good things to say. And, I specifically asked him about Tennessee's pace, and I'm trying to, ask these defenders this week about going up against Tennessee's defense and the pace, and he was just flat out honest. He said, hey, we lost that game in the first quarter. Tennessee scored 28 points. And by the time we recovered in the second half, it was just way too late. So he said that is really, really tough about Tennessee's defense. But I thought Shane Beamer said all the right things. It's hard not to like him. But again, uphill battle with the likes of Georgia, Tennessee on the rise, and Kentucky as well.
Yeah, and Zach Pickens said that Shane Beamer talked to each of the players when he first got there and asked them what they wanted to change and improve in the program. Sound familiar? Josh Heupel
had a players-only meeting, I think, the first day or two that he was on the job. So, sounds like both of those coaches, and they had identical records last year and, did some things and overachieved maybe, according to some, but it sounds like both those guys are kind of restarting these programs the right way.
And the most stylish player that we've seen or coach, frankly, was DeCarian Joyner,
Yeah.
the wide receiver, former quarterback. And Jimmy Himes said that Joyner said he didn't want to move to quarterback for the bowl game last year. He ended up balling out, being the MVP. Now he has a Duke's Mayo NIL deal along with a bunch of others. So crazy.
And strangely enough, says that, hey, he's going to have a hybrid role this year. It's going to be packages, of course, but said he's going to play both quarterback and wide receiver. So unique little wrinkle in that offense, but certainly a great talent. He earned the right to be here after what he did in the bowl game.
Man, so much else. This guy talking to players and media members. I've done the same. So many great interviews. Of course, everything from Sports Talk. All of that on our central page at 991thesportsanimal.com. There's videos of so much from here. You will see on our YouTube channel and on the central page a video through Radio Row, so you kind of see behind the scenes, including Jimmy Himes interviewing Chris Doering from the SEC Network. So much content, podcasts, videos, blogs, all that kind of stuff on our central page at 991thesportsanimal.com. And then follow us on all the socials as well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel. Sports Animal 991 will get you to all of those. 2 days in the books. Tennessee will go on Thursday with Hendon Hooker, Cedric Tillman, and Trayvon Flowers joining Josh Heupel. Can't wait for that. 4 more teams to go tomorrow. Should be another fun day. I think the most loaded and deepest day of teams tomorrow. Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Arkansas. I think tomorrow will be a neat final day before we see Tennessee.
Yeah, and you're going to get some good players to talk to as well, so it should be a whole lot of fun.
All right, that'll do it. Day 2 wrap-up from SEC Media Days 22 here in Atlanta. I'm Vince Ferrara. That's Eric Kane. Thanks for watching.